Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain my recently published article Bitcoin as an infection disease, evidence from SEER epidemiological model. The purpose of the study is to analyze two consecutive Bitcoin bubbles, such as the one of 2017-18 and the one of 2021-22, through the epidemiological lens. I have used SEER epidemiological model, which stands for susceptible, infected, and recover. In the case of Bitcoin, susceptible are considered total number of open wallets, infected are considered active wallets, and recovered are removed inactive wallets. The estimates indicate that Bitcoin spreads as fast as measles or whooping cough, while to recover from this disease it takes as long as recovering from diphtheria or tuberculosis. Basically, the infection rate is very fast, while the recovery rate takes quite a long time. The results of the paper are split into two parts. The first part of the results analyze the infection rate, recovery rate, and the reproduction rate during 2017-18 bubble. According to the estimation trial, the one that fits the best to the Bitcoin case shows that the infection rate during the 2017-18 bubble stands on the range of 0.17. while the recovery rate stands on the range of 0.01. When we take these two measures, we get to the reproduction rate. The reproduction rate during this period was 17. So on average, one person can infect 17 others. Basically, we are speaking only for the average, since in reality, one person could infect millions of people. For instance, the tweets of Elon Musk or Donald Trump's can cause infection of millions and millions of people to enter the crypto market. However, always these are numbers of on average. However, during the 2021-22 bubble, the infection rate is much more faster, is 0.8, while the recovery rate is 0.07, which gives us the reproduction rate of 11. Basically, during the 2021-22 bubble, the one person on average could infect 11 others. Basically, Bitcoin stands between 11 and 17 concerning the reproduction rate. And this comes close to the infection diseases like measles and whooping cough. Basically, during the bubble periods, the infection rate of the Bitcoin stands close with those of measles and whooping cough, highly infectious diseases. However, the recovery rate is much more slower in the Bitcoin, which corresponds very close to tuberculosis or diphtheria. You get faster infected with a Bitcoin narrative of getting fast money, while to recover from this disease, it takes quite a lot of time. And we see that in many activities, in gambling activities, when people easily enter those activities, but they find it due to the addiction to that game, they find it very hard to get out. Bitcoin remains one of the most interesting and controversial financial phenomena of the 21st century. It was first introduced by the Satoshi Nakamoto, which his true identity remains unknown. However, it appeared during 2008-9 during the financial meltdown of the time, when the trust on the financial system was at its lowest point. The instrument, with no intrinsic value and with very limited social benefits, attracted such a worldwide popularity. However, my idea didn't come from here. 4 years ago today, since I kept note on it, I read the book by Professor Robert Schiller, Narrative Economics, which in part of the book he mentioned that infection diseases are more concretely epidemiological models could explain some of these widespread narratives. He speaks about very interesting cases where narratives spread around the world, and also Bitcoin is treated there. Later on, I read articles that show that 60 to 70% of the participants in the crypto market invest there, but they do not understand them. So the natural question is, how can someone invest on something that they don't understand? People take much more time to buy a car, to go to the vacation, to analyze when they do some investment decision, but they buy Bitcoin, but they don't understand them. It is clear that the profit opportunities, the opportunity to make quick money, is the infection impulse that push them to enter this market. Considering this and considering the book of Professor Schiller, I have used epidemiological models to try to give explanation to the price explosion of Bitcoin through two consecutive bubbles, basically the bubble of 2017-18 and the bubble of 2021-22. Moreover, the paper also compares Bitcoin with different real-world infection diseases. The first plot indicates the SEER model adopted for the Bitcoin case during the 2017-18 bubble. The second plot indicates the SEER model adopted for the Bitcoin case during 2021-22 bubble. However, the table shows comparison of Bitcoin with other real-world infection diseases. And if you could see through the reproduction number, Bitcoin is much closer with infection diseases like measles and whooping cough, but also chickenpox. However, Robert Schiller, in his book Narrative Economics, he explains that maybe Ebola disease might give some explanation to the price explosion of the Bitcoin, other price outbreaks or bubble period. However, Ebola is located only in one certain geographical area, while Bitcoin is a pandemic issue and it's spreaded globally, which in this case, Bitcoin fits more with the COVID-19 or influenza. Basically, in geographical terms, Bitcoin is more close to the COVID-19 or influenza. However, concerning the infection rate and the recovery rate, Bitcoin is more close to measles, whooping cough, diphtheria, and tuberculosis. Thank you.